and I, of course, like yourselves, motivated individuals and looking into personal development and stuff like this all the time. So that's like a bit of context to where the mindset was at. But it was really just a book that we read called The Game is Life. This is a fiction book, just a regular fiction book. Sometimes I'll get bored and go on books and see which free book is out there, to read on your phone.
Different human, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I'm like, let me read this one. The Game is Life, whatever. It had a catching title and page. And that book is about, it's based on life as a simulation, but these kids, they go into, the whole world is based on this. So everything revolves around this game. Okay, that's why the game is life. Your work, your income, all comes from this game. Your education, you go into this game, okay, and you live a life, and what you learn and from that you bring back with you. And then what you earn from there as well, you bring back with you. So it sets a lot of things up. And for those who come out of that game and haven't made certain moves or whatever the standards are they haven't met, they are really low down in society. They're struggling. They're fighting. People getting killed. It's crazy. And then those who come out of this game and they've done really well in this game, they are the elite in society. They have a bit more of a, they've got more money. So the same thing here, the difference between the two classes. But it's really, there's a real difference there. So it was an interesting book. And then I went to Josh, bro, read this book. It's interesting. It's fun, sharing what we have. And he read it too. And then we just started mucking around with the idea. We go, because it's like before you go into this game, you can look at your character, and they have whole teams that are built for the richer people. They have whole teams that are built to give you the best shot in the game. They look at different things like background, where are you going to be born in this game, upbringing. Also, they have certain aspects like charisma, strength, all these different attributes that you can apply some credits to and have whatever advantage you can get. But a lot of what happens is dictated in the game. There's only so much you can do outside of it. So the idea though of looking at yourself as a character and then picking attributes and leveling up, and then also the way these characters looked at themselves in the game, and then how they did really well, the two main characters in this book, what they did differently was when they were in the game, they somehow found a way to play it as if it was a game. And that opened up many things for them. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. Banter. And we started doing that. We started looking at ourselves as a character, even just chatting about it. So then it just started from conversation. We'd be chatting about it nonstop. If your character was this, what would you do? And Josh would talk about his upbringing. It's a good way to explain certain things as well. It's okay, maybe I had this difficulty in my life, and so that it's given me this aspect. Maybe this has been the reason that I've had to go through this, and I've been in this situation, and this is the case, because what have I got from it here? Also, certain other people, like you boys meeting each other, could be a part of that, from that concept. And I did the same. I looked at certain things, I explained certain things.
Like in your personal life?
Pardon?
Like in your personal life, you looked at certain things, I
looked at I looked at myself and my own life, and I just tried to pick apart certain things. You try to think about, how did I get to here right now in that perspective? Like what things have led me, okay, when I was at school, I went to this school, and that made me a little bit more open-minded. I had a great family, alhamdulillah, I'm happy with, and having an upbringing of two other brothers, you can be very competitive. And you just look at different things. Then you look at yourself as well and your own characteristics. And you just think, what are the things that I'm good at? What are the things that I feel like I need to improve? Just basic self-development analysis. But it's a good framework to operate off, because it makes it simple to identify things. Otherwise, it can be difficult to identify, not only what we're good at, but what we're actually bad at.
Yeah, it helps with self-awareness.
Yeah, like one of the things that I got from that was my attention span was very poor. Like that's just an example of certain things.
I feel like
But you start to be real with yourself, start to notice what you need to work on in order to move forward,
And then you can start to take the right steps to try and do it. Now, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, you're just a regular bloke, making the same mistakes.
100%.
Yeah.
But no, I get where you're coming from, because if you think about it, there's certain things in life that you kind of like, you can consciously decide to do and not to do, So, for example, I'm someone who struggled with the idea of sleep for a long time. I thought it was a load of garbage that
Sleep?
you need. Yeah. So I thought it was a load of garbage that people tried to sell to others. That if you don't get 8 hours of sleep, you're gonna be shambolic. For the longest time, for I think a year and a half, bro, I lived off of like 3 hours of sleep, because I'm thinking that the more I work, obviously the more I progress with my goals, with like with my status in society and stuff. And little did I know what was happening to me in the background, in my body, in my mind, and all that. And even my spiritual nature, I'm becoming shambolic, bro. Like my whole body's deteriorating and my mind is going left. I'm getting controlled by my body and by my emotions and stuff. And I have like the conscious aspect of me isn't coming to the forefront. Do you get where I'm coming from? And for me, it's like, and then I looked at that, and then I looked at my environment, for example. Then I looked at what I was eating, if I was exercising, and they tell you all these things are important, but you're just like, nah, come on, guys, I got willpower, I got God, it should be all right. But doesn't, like, God tells you do the right things by yourself, man.
100%. Sleep is everything, man. You can't really, you can't neglect it. You can't neglect it at all.
You learn the hard way.
Yeah, like that's something we even looked at from player one mindset as well. Like you got to look at your character as an operating thing, and one massive part of that operating thing, if we didn't need to sleep, we would never sleep. We'd just be going all the time. There's a reason we sleep. Everything needs to have a shut off. Every animal, everything needs its time to rest and replenish. And when you sleep, it's not just your physical recovery. Everything, even emotional, even mental, even spiritual,
Wallah.
because everything happens in memory consolidation, recovery. But if you're not sleeping, you're waking up a little bit worse off. But there are things you can do. Of course, you can still operate, but over time it adds up. It adds up.